Well, how's it going today, folks? I'm Braap and welcome back to the Braap Shack. Today we're taking a look at this pretty Summit next to me here. It's a 2013 $800 etec Summit X, and I'll explain a little more here as we take a peek. So, this machine is owned by a customer that we've had his machine on the channel before, the FX Nitro. He bought this and got a few rides out of it, and he was riding along and it was all fine. She backfired, from what I understand, and lost a bunch of power. And he says that now it's really hard to pull and it doesn't want to start. So I opened the panels to thaw out, the machine. Here's the panels for it. Now, it's not locked up, but it doesn't feel quite normal. It feels kind of like, see how it like turns in like increments? And when you try to pull a handle, it is really stiff. So I think we're going to pop the top off of this guy, and we're going to poke around a little bit, and we'll pull these plugs out, we'll see what they look like, and possibly do a compression test, and we'll go from there. It is a good idea, before we open the engine, we might pop the recoil off. Anything that can create drag on the engine, right? So we'll pull off the recoil. If you had your belt on, you'd pull your belt off. Just so that at that point, it's not something in the recoil that's binding up. It's not, So we'll take a quick peek here. Let's pop this bitch open. I think I just found the issue, boys. Our plug boot. With a Bluetooth fucking wire. I wonder how in the fuck that happened. That's weird. Because he said he was riding it. Hey, that would do it. I think we should still do a compression test, though, because that means that every moment it ran afterwards was on one dead cylinder. Yeah, I just went to pull off the spark plug boot, and I noticed that it had no wire on it. And if you look here, see this? looks like. See that white on there? Yeah. Oh, looks like corroded. It also looks like it was kind of pinched. See that white stuff? It's almost like it had like a crack or a break, and that white was it arcing. Like something like this. See how there's missing material there? And the rest of the way around, she seals. It could have something to do with this shit that was on there. That's like a hard, like that could cut a guy. And look at, there's a melted edge. See that right there? Fucking focus, you piece of shit. See that lip sticking up? That's like melted. So, could be because of this fucking guy. Because you notice the other side just has regular loom, eh? It doesn't got this shit. So that means somebody's been in there changing things and moving stuff around anyway. So this one here was the side with the broken wire. Looks about the same, but it's drier. The side that was disconnected is wet. Obviously, it wasn't burning nothing. So she's definitely got good compression. Okay, so I found a cable that we can use. I threw in the spark plugs and the one that we already had. Now, throw in this other side. And then we kind of got to reassemble completely in order to start, because it's fuel injected. It doesn't like to run properly without the air box and the Hey, well, she at least runs now, but she's not happy. So give me a minute here, and we'll see what we can find. So here's the scoop, guys. After a bunch of fucking around, she run like shit. I'm pretty sure you've seen that. I checked spark, and it had good spark on the magneto side, okay, which is the top coil pack. No spark in the bottom coil pack, which is the clutch side. So just to make sure it wasn't the plugs, I switched the plugs, checked spark again. Still had good spark in the mag side. Still had no spark in this side, so I switched the coil wires, which I was using that test wire that I showed you out of another machine. Switched the wires, still had spark from the top coil but not the bottom, so I switched the actual inputs into the coils and still only had good spark from the top coil and not the bottom. So that means bottom coil shot. So this machine needs a coil wire, and it could use some fresh plugs so we can re-index it, and I'm quite certain that that'll be it. So I pulled the coil off just so I could get proper part numbers, make sure we get the right one. I'm going to throw the panels and the air box and everything back in it. I threw this old gnarly spark plug and both the spark plugs in it. So we're gonna button it back up, drag it back outside, and I'll flip this back on when we get a coil. So we're back with the 2013 800 etec 800R. It's been about I don't know, a week and a half. We finally got the coil and coil wire, and let's see what happens. Okay, so can't forget that. There's our wire, there's a coil, there's some new plugs. The open end of the electrode. Okay, right here. That lines up right perfectly with this point on the hex. So we'll go ahead and we'll just make a line right there. There. We'll pull this air box. Clip it right there. Right here. Point straight up. Okay, let's slide the air box back in here. line it up, otherwise it's not sealing. On your clutch cover, you should have this here tool. If you're near some lube, it don't hurt. As you release this, see, it's going to go completely loose. That's because the belt's being pinched. So if you rotate the belt while you loosen off on the clutch, it doesn't get pinched. And this one, like, we could adjust that a little bit. The ribs are just a little bit out of the grooves, but I mean, it's like at 30 seconds, so we're not going to worry about it. Well, there she is. Parts are in. Change the coil. New wire, new plugs. Let's check it out. See what happens.
Fucking mint.
Well, that's gonna be it for this one. Fuck, that's a nice crisp sounding exhaust on that thing. But that'll be it for this one. Till next time, have a gooder, folks.